Hi, this is Mato. In this video I will show the game between Boris Gelfand and Viswanathan. This is game 9 of World Chess Championship match that was played in Moscow in 2012. After 8 games, both players have 4 points each. In this game, Boris Gelfand had white pieces and he started with d4. Anand played knight to f6, c4, e6, knight to c3 and bishop to b4. In the previous games, Anand played semi-Slav defense, and his choice in this game is Nimzo Indian defense, which is highly respected opening. e3, Anand castled, bishop to d3. First black allowed white to build a center, and now he's attacking it. Knight to f3, c5, Boris castled, pawn takes pawn on c4, bishop takes on c4, c takes on d4, e takes on d4, and white has isolated queen's pawn. b6, black wants to develop bishop to b7, bishop to g5, pinning knight, bishop to b7, queen to e2, connecting rooks, knight from b to d7, developing knight and adding more protection to knight on f6, rook from a to c1, rook to c8, bishop to d3. Another move that is popular in this position is knight to e5, and then black would respond with queen to c7 or h6. In our game, bishop to d3 was played. Anand captured on c3, pawn takes bishop, queen to c7 and c4. White has hanging pawns. What are hanging pawns? There are 2 friendly pawns abreast without friendly pawns on adjacent files. Hanging pawns can be either a strength, usually because they can be advanced, so white can push pawns, but they can be a weakness because they cannot be defended by pawns. It is black to move, and in this position Anand captured knight on f3, and this is not the strongest moving position. Boris captured the queen, and now Boris has 2 bishops against 2 knights. And according to Peter Svidler, if he had this position as white, he said he would be thinking that he is winning. Okay, in this game Anand continued with rook from f to e8. He would like to play e5, but didn't like it immediately, because if e5, then bishop to f5, pinning knight, unpinning, now queen to g3, pinning pawn. So Anand played rook from f to e8. e5 is on the menu. Rook from f to d1, adding more protection to pawn on d4, and white is better. h6, bishop to h4. Of course, taking knight is a bad idea, because now black has equalized and even has a good chance. So bishop to h4, keeping both bishops, is the best move. Queen to d6, and in this position Boris spent 20 minutes and decided to play c5. Another way to continue was bishop to g3, attacking queen. Of course, queen can't take pawn on d4, but because of this, bishop to h7 check, king takes, rook takes queen. So that means queen must go either to e7 or to b4, more likely to b4. And after a3, again queen can't take because there is this check, and white is winning queen. So after a3, probably queen to a5, and now white has a choice. He can play rook to b1 or even bishop to d6, and white would be better. But Boris' choice was c5, and this is very forcing line. Pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn, rook takes on c5, bishop to h7 check, king takes bishop, rook takes queen, rook takes rook check, rook to d1, and rook from e to c8. For his queen, black has rook, knight and a pawn. h3, creating some room for king to escape. Knight to e5, attacking queen. Queen must stay close to rook, so queen to e2. Knight to g6, attacking bishop. Bishop takes knight. Pawn takes bishop. And king to h2 is playable move. Boris captured rook on c1. Rook takes rook, this is check. King to h2 and rook to c2. Sorry, to c7, protecting pawn on a7. Both players have a plan in this position. Black wants to create fortress, and white wants to push the pawn to a6 and then place the queen to b7, something like this. Okay. In this position, white would play queen to b7, and if rook takes, pawn takes, and pawn can't be stopped, it would promote the queen. So then that means in this position, black can't take queen. He would play king to h7, for example, and then perhaps queen to f3. No, not queen to f3. First h4, trying to attack knight, and after h5, then queen to f3, forking pawn on h5 and one on f6. If king to h6, queen takes on f6 and queen is coming to g5. White would be winning. First, white played queen to b2, attacking pawn on f6, king to g7, a4, and now Anand said there are few different ways to build a fortress, and I think his choice was the best. He played knight to e7, knight is coming to d5, a5, knight to d5, a6. Now knight is protecting rook, rook is protecting pawn, and white can't make any progress on the queen side. His only hope is to push pawns on the king side. King to h7, queen to d4, f5, g4 immediately is playable. Boris played f4, rook to d7. Boris played king to g3. In the interview after the game, he was talking about this move. That is another way to go. So we would have this continuation perhaps. King to g6, pawn takes pawn, king takes, king to g3, king to g6. White is better, but how to win the game? Okay, in the game king to g3 was played. King to g6, queen to h8. Queen would like to come to g8 perhaps. Knight to f6, and queen is out of business. She must go back in the game, so queen to b8, h5, king to h4, king to h6, queen to b2, attacking knight, king to g6, queen to c3, knight to e4, attacking queen, queen to c8. I will show you one very interesting variation. They talked about this in the interview after the game. So this is queen to f3, and after knight to f6, queen to g3, and this looks very good for white. But let's see what happened. King to h7, queen to g5, and looks like that white is doing well, but white is actually losing. After knight to e4, what else but to take this pawn? And now this is check. First king to g7. Winning move is rook to d8 and rook to h8. And how to avoid this? If g4, then rook to d8, and after pawn takes pawn, black is winning white queen. Well, white can continue in a different way, like queen to e2, but then rook to d8 anyway, and after check, blocking, and after check on b7, king to g6. And how do you stop now this? Rook to h8, winning. In the game, queen to c8 was played, attacking rook, knight to f6, queen to b8, rook to e7, g4, pawn takes pawn, and how would you capture now? With knight or with pawn? Anand captured with pawn, and that is the good move. Taking with knight is a blunder. If knight takes, then queen to g8 check, king to h6 check, forking king and the rook. So after king to h7, queen takes on e7. So Anand captured with pawn, and now queen to e5, knight to g8 check, king to h7, queen takes pawn, f6, white can't make any progress, king to h8, queen to e4, king to g7. In this position, Anand offered a draw and Boris accepted. After 9 games, both players have 4.5 points. Opening went well for white. 2 bishops advantage was converted to material advantage, but Anand saved the game by creating the fortress. And that is all. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. I wish you good luck with your chess, and bye for now.